One dad's all-out fight for son after mom abducts him to China. It's been nearly a year since Brian Maid, a Utah information technology worker and former U.S. Marine, waved goodbye to his son Alex at the airport. The boy, then 4, was on his way to China with his mother, Mare's ex-wife Yuna, to visit family in his mom's homeland. They were due to return in 45 days, but never made it back. Meg knew right then that his biggest fear had come true. Yuna had successfully carried out an international parental abduction. I took them to the airport, and I feel like a complete buffoon for letting that happen. May 34 tells Yahoo Parenting, his voice thick with guilt. She was much more convincing than I gave her credit for. Thus began Mate's new reality, spending every bit of energy on trying to bring his son back home from Dalian, Yuna's hometown, where the two have been living with her parents since May 2014. It's been a frustrating, labyrinthine, upsetting fight, and has so far involved the U.S. State Department, the FBI, the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, the Chinese Central Authority, assorted lawyers, and the Netherlands-based mediation firm, all to no avail. Mate's efforts have put him into severe debt, as he's already spent more than 50,000 fighting for Alex's return, in addition to about 58,000 for his divorce, wiping out his retirement account. Now he's launched an online crowd-raise campaign, hoping to raise enough money to continue his legal battle. But, but the emotional part has been the roughest, particularly since Matt has seen Alex just briefly during this whole time, for a few days in October, when he went to see his son for what's been their only visit since Yuna, known in the US as Nina, to him to China. I hugged him before I left. I was holding him in my arms and saying goodbye. Matt recalls, it was the most stressful, difficult thing I'd ever had to do in my life. I feel like an idiot, like I let her play me, about how living without Alex has affected his existence. He says, this impacts me every single day. Knowing exactly is, where his son is, and not being able to do anything about it has been particularly difficult. Sometimes Matt says Yuna allows him to Skype with Alex. I tell him I love him, I miss him, that I hope he can come soon. Matt says, adding that Alex no longer speaks English, appears to only be interested in watching TV and playing games on his iPad, even when they are on a Skype call together. He worries about how Yuna has explained his absence to Alex, and about how he doesn't seem to be attending school. Yuna did not respond to an email from Yahoo Parenting requesting her side of the story. It's awful. This poor little kid. Jill Coyne, Matt's Utah-based divorce attorney, tells Yahoo Parenting. She explains that while allowing Yuna to travel to China with her son was a stipulation that they eventually agreed to in the divorce agreement. It was it was one she and Matt had great reservation about. This was definitely a big fear of his, but but his ex-wife wasn't going to stop fighting for it. So it was either we go to trial fighting it all the way for 25,000 or come up with something we felt was safe enough. So they put safeguards in place, Quick explains, which includes having Yuna sign a notarized statement saying that Alex was a U.S. citizen and that he was to be raised in Utah, requiring that she purchase a round-trip ticket for their travel, having her put up the title of her car as collateral, and also requiring that Alex a temporary temporary visa which would expire, which it has. Now, she says, my client has spent so much money and has tried everything, and everyone has left him hanging. The crux of the problem with getting help from officials in the case is the involvement of China, which is not a party to the Hague Abduction Convention, a treaty that many countries have joined in order to provide shared civil remedy among partner countries to work toward the best interests of an abducted child. Unfortunately, for some of the non-Hajj countries, there may be some challenges and difficulties. Malhead, a supervisor in the Missing Children Division of the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, tells Yahoo Parenting. One problem, she says, is that countries, those countries including China, won't recognize U.S. custody orders. Other challenges, other challenges, filing international abduction charges against Yuna with the Justice Department could potentially force her into hiding. Matt says he was advised. While enforcement would be difficult, since there is no extradition treaty between the US and China. But all cases vary widely, she says, and even when they seem hopeless, things can turn on a dime. I've seen situations in which it seemed nothing can be done, but things change day to day, she says. The parent may want to negotiate, the parent may want to come back, the parent may want to travel. In March, the FBI was able to stop an attempt parental abduction to China when the dad in the US alerted authorities that his wife had just boarded an airplane to China with their 4-year-old son. He had been alerted via email by his wife. The plane was turned around 4 hours into its journey from Washington, D.C., and the boy's mother was arrested. She now faces up to 3 years in prison. That father doesn't know how lucky he is, May says. Like the parents in that throat kidnapping case, May and his ex-wife have joined legal custody of their child. But now he and Cohen have submitted a petition to modify that decision. To have Yuna serve with that petition, they've had to go through the Chinese Central Authority and are prepared for it to take up to 9 months. 9 months. If Yuna doesn't respond within the required 20 days, Med can get a sole custody order, but China may or may not accept it. Met Yuna in 2003 in Tokyo, where he was on vacation while was stationed in the Marine Corps in Okinawa, and Yuna, a Chinese national, was attending college on a student visa. The two became a couple and Met got a job at a naval base off the coast of Tokyo. They eventually married, having Alex on U.S. military property, making him an American citizen in 2009. The family relocated to Utah when Maid found an IT job there in 2012. From there, the situation began to devolve. There were disagreements about how to raise Alex, particularly around medical issues and Yuna's belief that their son needed a battery tests and Chinese herbal treatment. She was like a Hippocratic, but for him, Med explains. Med explains. He filed for divorce, as well as police report and an order of protection when he says Yuna tried to stab him. Later, after they were separate, local police charged her for child neglect after a neighbor reported Alex walking alone in a busy street while Yuna was out grocery shopping. Maid provided Yahoo Parenting with documents relating to each incident. Maid said that once Yuna had gone to China, she told him that the child neglect charges made her afraid to come back to the US. He convinced police to drop the charges, but Yuna remained where she was. That's when I realized it doesn't matter what I say or do, says Maid, who is not willing to move to China. She's only convinced with what's best for her, not our son. These days, he's moving forward as best as he can. But he misses the time he had spent with Alex. We'd play Legos and Hot Wheels and go to the playground and the museum. It says every Saturday was our day. Now the dad finds weekends particularly lonely, especially if he stays at home, where Alex's room is set up and waiting for him, and where steel box Christmas present for his son sit in the basement. I will never give up this fight, he says.